You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the free 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, The Locker Room Youth Movement, producer Danny Ryan, and the intern Andrew Lee's here with me. And right now, I can't wait to talk to our guest that we have every Sunday. We go on the mound with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green, brought to you by the John R. Elliot Hero Campaign for designated drivers. Reminding you not to drink and drive and to always have a designated driver. Sign up now for the 12th annual Hero Walk and Run on the Ocean City Boardwalk Sunday, October 15th. Go to herocampaign.org to register today for the Hero Campaign's biggest fundraiser and help them prevent drunk and impaired driving. That's herocampaign.org. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room, Cancun Tommy Green. Good morning, T. Green.
Hey, good morning, brothers. How you doing?
So, Tommy, we're here on November 29th and I think December 4th. You, Milt, and Mickey, you're going to take in a bunch of Phillies fans down to Cancun.
How about that, man? That's awesome. I tell you what, it's no better time. I'm telling people to do this. It's a great time we have with the fans, and I mean, it's like family, you know. Because I've been on a few of these, and I've had the best time and got to know a lot of good people. And you see a lot of people around the ballpark because they're loyal fans,
yeah.
And I mean, it's such a great time, and we have a blast.
You know, Tommy, we had Brandon Graham on the show earlier, right after football season. He was also appeared at the Ocean City Music Pier, and I went down there and had a chance to talk with him. And I said to him, "Do you realize you see so many people, but you realize like the people that they just want to be a part of." They want to meet you guys and be around you and talk to you and pick your brain about your experiences. That's got to be pretty special sharing that with people.
Well, I mean, and you look back, and as you say stuff like that, Billy, you look back at it, and it makes you think back when you were younger. Even before I was professional, when I was a player, I mean, a high school player or a little league player, if you had the chance to meet somebody that played college ball that you looked up to or that were playing in a league that you wanted to play in later or whatever, you know, it was so cool to get the chance to meet them and pick their brain a little because you're fans. I mean, you're a baseball fan, you're a basketball fan, you're a football fan, you know. And the thing about it, I look back at it and I tell people, I said, hey, I'm really no different than you were back your age. Yeah, I played baseball and I was pretty good at it, but I just love to play the game, just like you love the game. You know, we're no different. We bleed red, and you know, we made the best of the opportunities, and we took advantage of the talent we had, and we kept working at it. And that's the epitome of everybody. You know, they take their best attributes in life and try to enhance them and go into the direction that best fits them. You know, so. That's sort of where we're at.
Yeah. All right, we're talking with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green every Sunday throughout baseball season. We go on the mound with Tommy Green, brought to you by the John R. Elliott Hero Campaign for designated drivers. Tommy, now, I'm pissed, and I want to get your reaction to this. No, Tommy, you know what I'm going to say? Tommy, back in '93, if I don't know, if Chase Utley got beamed, or not '93, I mean, I don't know. Who am I thinking for the '93 team? You would have hit him. You would have gone after Bryce.
No, it could have been. It doesn't matter who got it.
Right.
You know? I mean, it doesn't have to be your big guy. I mean,
Bryce Harper's he got his thumb broke.
You're going to get hit from time to time. I mean, because you got to pitch inside as a pitcher, and it happened to be a lefty on a lefty, which I mean, I can see a ball getting away a little bit, but his first at bat, he hit a double down the line on it.
Yeah, but Tommy, hold on. Bryce Harper's been hit in the face. He's been not in the same year, but he's been hit in the face. He got his thumb or his finger broken last year by the Padres, and yesterday gets beamed. But when are we going to take retribution? I know you guys in '93 would have been right there for each other. I'm pissed off.
Well, I look at that. You know, I look at that situation more so than as a possible, you know, hey, I'm going to get somebody because you hit him, because what led up to that a little bit, because he hit a double down to his first at bat. He had that, and I don't know if he was trying to do something and got away from it, but I mean, it looked like to me it was pretty purposely trying to go in there. You know what I mean? I mean, he missed. That's a pretty big miss.
Yeah, but Tommy, when are they going to do something?
It was pretty more going to hit him in the ribs. You know what I mean?
Tommy, when are our pitchers going to do something, though, Tommy? I mean, come on.
Well, I mean,
what if Darren Dalton got hit? What if Dutch got hit?
See,
come on, man. I'm pissed.
Well, I mean, you're going to get a hit at times. Not every time somebody gets hit, you retaliate. You know, you're giving instances that's years happening. This is not something that's happened over the past week or two or last time they played against each other. You know, there's a history. You know,
right?
You know, I can see yesterday's as being more coming back and doing something because of what Harper did. It felt like he got. To me, it was almost like he got hit for hitting a double off of him. You know, off the at bat before his first at bat. So that could be something that hey, you go pitch in on our guy, I'm gonna pitch in on the other guy.
That's right.
I get it. You know what I mean? That would be the only way I do that. But any other time, balls do get away. And just because, I mean, you have to pit inside. I'd rather hit him, you know, he got hit in the elbow.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a right-handed thrower that bats left-handed. You're going to get hit, you know, from time to time.
Well, I know, but
in there.
I understand that, Tommy, but he just got come off Tommy John surgery. He's our best player, you know, and he gets hit in the elbow that's reconstructed. I just think that the Phillies. I don't know. Let me ask you this question, then, Tommy. Do you think
you can do something like that, Billy? I mean, I get something like that and start something, and that's left up to the individual who's pitching that day more so than anything.
Well, let me ask
you know, or the catcher say, hey, or Riamuto needs to say, hey, we need to get somebody inside here. Pitch him good in.
Well,
you know, if you get him, you get him. Don't worry about it.
Tommy,
I don't think Nola's going to do that today.
Like that.
So, Tommy, then let me ask you, who's it up to? Does Bryce Harper go to, say, Nola today and say, hey, listen, you know, remember I got hit yesterday? Or does Romuto say something? Like, how would you handle that, Tommy?
I think a lot of it's left up to the pitcher, the way he looks at it. You know, I know that's the way we looked at things, and then it's the communication with your catcher, what we're trying to do. You know, whatever you're trying to do, you don't want it to be a detriment to your team.
Right.
You got to pitch. You got to pick a good spot and do it. You know, or the right person and do it to get that point across. And it's got to be in a good situation where hopefully it doesn't hurt you. You know, and come back to haunt you. You know, because I mean, not that necessarily this week we necessarily knocked the cover off the ball. We hit okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, we just didn't score the runs we needed. We actually pitched pretty well. You know, overall, as far as ERA wise for the weekend. I mean, for us being up in the top in baseball pitching for the week for the last 7 days. You know, but we just didn't score the runs. I mean, but we were 4-2 for the week. We were a chance to win every game. So every run counted this week, so to speak. You know, it meant a lot. So you got to pick your spots and stuff in the game to get your point across and get it to the person. Because if they hit your big dog and you felt like they did it on purpose, you got to do something.
Tommy, I'm a bit torn, honestly, you know, because I agree with you. It wasn't intentional. It's not like these, 3 times over the course of a week. And I also agree with Billy because, like you mentioned, you're hitting the big dog, man. You're not going for a Christian Pache. You're not going for a Josh Harrison. This has happened now 3 or 4 times.
Where's the respect, Danny? You know what I mean? I mean, like, let's go inside the Bryce Harper. Yeah. No, it's Bryce Harper.
This has now happened 3 or 4 times to them. So, you know.
Well, I mean, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You're saying you got to go inside on Bryce Harper. You got to get him leaking because if you're letting him get comfortable and he's staying on that ball away, you know, and driving you the other way, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what happened in the NLCS.
He's going to own you. He's going to own you as a pitcher. You got to pitch him inside, and sometimes it gets away. Now, I'm not saying he purposely hit him or what he was trying to do, but as a Phillies player, if you felt like it was intentional after he lined a double down the right field line and that pitcher was trying to get a point across, you got to get your point across to somebody then. You know, you got to come back and say, hey, I'm not going to allow you to do that. If you feel like you can do that whenever you want, I'm going to do the same thing. You know, so that's the way you handle it as a pitcher. You know, that's the way I would handle it.
Tommy, after Bryce exited yesterday's game, the lineup's been released for today's game against the Marlins. It's Schwarber leading off at the DH spot. So no Bryce Harper, obviously, for today. But the one thing that really kind of pisses me off is Brandon Marsh not being in this lineup. I'll read the full lineup for you. Trey Turner, shortstop, batting second. Nick Castellanos, right field, batting third. Bohm batting fourth at first. And then fifth, take a look real quick. It just went down on me. It's JT Realmuto catching, batting sixth. It's Bryson Stott, second base. And then Josh Harrison in left field. Now, typically we talked about if Bryce can go to first base, you'd see Pache in left, keep Marsh in center. But with the lefty today, they go Harrison in left, Pache in center, two righties. But it's Harrison, Sosa, Pache to round things off. What do you think about that? I mean, I've been an advocate for this since the season started. Brandon Marsh needs to see reps against lefties or else he's not going to get any better. But Josh Harrison, for some reason, gets the reps.
Well, I mean, that's the way they're choosing to do that, more of a, I don't know, say a platoon sometimes, and especially if Marsh happens to be kind of struggling a touch, you know, going down. I mean, it's maybe giving them another day down, and especially if they're facing a tough lefty, you know, which is, I mean, that could put you in a slump. You know what I mean? If you face it, you know, it's like Crucky. Crucky didn't want nothing to do with, you know, the big unit or Candelaria back in the day. And you didn't see Crucky away from nothing, but he didn't want nothing to do with those guys. You know what I mean? And then Crucky's one of the best left-handed guys I've seen. You know, I mean, he could hit. You know, he hit 300 for a career. You know, so, I mean, there's some guys that put you in a slump. And that's the way Crucky said. That guy just, you face a guy like that, you're waiting to be put in a slump, you know? But I mean, a lot of it's going in. I mean, the coach is feeling he's going with sometimes his gut a little bit about the recent history, recent past, maybe what Harrison's done, you know, and he's playing the matchup, you know, lefty against righty a little bit.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's pushed a lot of right buttons since he's been the manager, so and you got to keep everybody involved and keep everybody sharp. You know, sometimes you know, when you start to struggle with that extra day off a little bit, it might help you if you're working on something a little bit. You know, as far as the hitter's concerned, you know, but you know, he's a young guy. He does need to face lefties. You want him to get better, he has to face them. You know, so you picking your time, and I think it's more of a gut thing. You know, it's a gut thing with Hopper, and then you know, and just playing the matchup a little bit, which is nothing wrong with that. You know, people's been stepping up, and that's what we've got to have. Look what Pache did the other day.
Hey, Tommy, I was at the greenhouse on Friday night. I was covering the Longport Mike McGrath Memorial Boat Races. Then we went to the Greene. You should have heard that place erupt when Pache hit that home run. It was unbelievable.
How about that, man?
Yeah, it was great.
That was a beautiful. See, you got to have something. You got to have that on your team. You know, you got to have the guy that, you know, that you don't necessarily expect to come through like that. And, you know, we battled to the end. I mean, we got away with winning one, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I look at that, you know. So, and that's a sign of positive things happening with this team. They're not giving up. They're battling to the end, you know, and a lot of good things have happened here of recent past. And they're playing decent baseball. It's just, you know, this past week, I mean, we could have won every game, you know, possibly in the past, you know, the five games they played this past 7 days. You know, Suarez struggled a little bit with his control, and it cost him, or else we might have won all five.
We're every Sunday during the baseball season, we go on the mound with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green, brought to you by the John R. Elliot Hero Campaign for designated drivers. Hey, Tommy, we got Aaron Nola on the mound. I want you to talk about Aaron Nola because his last start, he goes 7 1/3 innings. He gives up 5 hits, 1 earned run, 12 strikeouts. Has Aaron Nola, has he found his groove?
I tell you what, it's a beautiful thing to watch him pitch like that. I know that he did that against a pretty good team too. So I mean, it's you know, to see him to do something like that. I mean, I don't like to mess up the mojo. We know that just shows you what he's capable of doing. It's still there. He hasn't lost anything. It's just when he puts it together consistently, you know, which he's kind of been battling the first half of this season a little bit. You know, good things can happen. Now, if he can just carry that forward and it'd be a big, huge win today if we could have that type of, you know, consistent outing. I mean, the same results. It's hard to do that. I mean, punch out 12 in the big leagues all the time, and you know, give up 1 run on 5 hits. I mean, these are big league guys that are playing good big league ball. Yeah. You know, so it's I mean, to have a consistent outing like he did with his control of everything, what he did the other day. If he does that, we're going to have a good chance to win a ball game.
All right, Tom, and the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is on Tuesday night. Tell us a little bit the mindset of the players. Are they looking – I know they got one big game left today before the break against a really tough team, a team that's right ahead of them, 2.5 games behind the Marlins.
We need to win this one.
We need to win this one. What are the players thinking right now? Like the guys that aren't – tell me what they're thinking right now.
They're wanting to finish this first half strong. Finish with a win. The good taste in your mouth where you get these 3 or 4 days off or however many days they got off. They're not going to have it off. They're going to keep doing what they need to do, but they're not going to be pounding each other. They're not going to be on their feet as much and that type of thing. But they're going to do what they need to do, especially the pitchers. You got to continue doing your work a little bit. Maybe take another day down. Depends on how the rotations they've got it lined up for when they come back. They got to do their throwing. They got to stay, pretty consistent at what they do. They don't want to get too out of whack with their routine.
Maybe we'll see.
They're going to be doing stuff, but the extra rest is pretty good. But the good taste in your mouth going into the break, like winning today because they lost yesterday, is a thing that they need.
And maybe we'll see some of the players down here at the Jersey Shore. All right, Tommy Green. Listen, man, we really appreciate you. Every Sunday, we really appreciate talking to you. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
You got it, pal.
There he is, on the mound with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green, brought to you by the John R. Elliot Hero Campaign for designated drivers, reminding you not to drink and drive and to always have a designated driver. Hey, sign up now for the 12th Annual Hero Walk and Run on the Ocean City Boardwalk Sunday, October 15th. Go to herocampaign.org to register today for the Hero Campaign's biggest fundraiser and help them prevent drunk and impaired driving.